All right. Well, I've got to be honest. I'm quite exhausted after a Thursday night victory by the New York Jetsies over the Houston Texonians. Um, hey, we got ourselves a win. It was a tale of two halves. How in the world did we play so poorly in the first half and then play so great in the second half? Well, these things are a mystery of life. But nonetheless, that game is over. We got the win. Hopefully, it's the start of some good things. Please, God. But now we have to review the PFF grades. Now, we take a look at these PFF grades. They're not the Bible, but they are worth taking a look at because they can tell us some things. And so, why not take a look at them? All right, with that said, we'll take a look at them right now.
Did you know that if you subscribe to this channel right now, Mike Williams will receive free lifetime running on the Redline lessons from verified experts in Redline running? Please click the subscribe button now so that the Jets wide receiver can be on the same page with the quarterback once and for all. Please, little button, Redline, big time important. And if you're already subbed, tell a friend. I see you, Harlan.
All right, so here we are. This is where we are currently in the NFL overall. You can see the best teams, according to this, are the Lions, the Ravens, the 49ers, the Steelers, the Falconians, the Chiefs, the Eagles, and so forth and so on. And we're all the way down here at 21st. So we're not doing so hot at 3-6. Though, you look at some of this and you say, really, the Bills are only slightly better than us? Excuse me. And what about the Packers? There's lots that you can nitpick over with these PFF grades for sure. But let's take a look at the offense, for example. Who was the best against the Tejanians? We got Garrett Wilson. How about Air Wilson? The iconic catch of the year, probably. It's definitely going to be iconic for sure. But he gets a 91.1 grade overall. So how about Garrett Wilson fulfilling all the potential that we all thought? Kenny Yeboah came into this game and got 4 snaps and 85.9 grade. How about that for old Mr. Yabo? I probably was one of the few who said it's Yabo season when I saw that they brought him up. And you saw the teammates going wild for old Kenny when he made that catch for a first down because they all love Kenny. Devontae Adams playing well. All right, excellent. Aaron Rodgers, Tyron Smith finally playing great when we need him the most. You love to see it. Overall, look at the pass blocking. Now, this is what we expected out of Mr. Tyron. 89.5. We'll take a closer look at that. John Simpson, hopefully his injury is not too bad. Let's hope and pray. We had a lot of injury problems in this game, only 12 snaps. Morgan Moses was able to last the whole game, and thank God for that, and play pretty well. I personally am in favor of extending Morgan Moses, get a cheap 2-year deal, lock him in. He's a great, great, great locker room dude. He's a team leader, and he's a warrior. He fights through his injuries and, gets back on that field. Max Mitchell was playing guard. He was not playing left tackle, according to this. Rongo Bazongo. Max Mitchell was playing guard, and that was part of the problem, but he played well. So good job, Max. Joe Tipman, 2-year guy, was telling our guys what to do because we had so many substitutes in there. His own grade was a 57.5. Jake Hansen got hurt. And then we had Olu coming in, and Olu was playing guard, not tackle. Didn't get great grades, but held up okay for a guy who, and this one penalty was very questionable in my opinion, for a guy who was playing completely out of position, had never played guard in his entire life, high school, college, nothing. And here he is, we stick him in a game and he doesn't, he's not terrible. So you got to give a lot of props to Olu. You got to give a lot of props to Tippmann. They were saying that Tippmann was basically telling Olu what to do before every play. So for a guy, that we put a lot on, Joe Tippmann, second-year player, hey, you got to give the kid a lot of credit for that, even though his grade's not great. Malachi, we gave you a chance, Malachi. We called him Scratchy Malachi. I understand his name is Malachi. We call him Malachi for fun. But we called him Scratchy Malachi because he kept getting scratched. And in this game, he wanted to transform that into becoming Catchy Malachi. catch some passes. But instead, we handed him an end around, and he does it great. Everything's going perfect. He's going right into the end zone, and he decides to start his celebration a little early. We need to stop that, Malachi. We cannot have celebrations before you get into the end zone. Get into the end zone, have the guy call it a touchdown. I mean, take a little inspiration from Barry Sanders, perhaps one of the greatest players of all time in the entire sport. Scored so many touchdowns that make your head spin. And every friggin' time he scored a touchdown, you know how he celebrated? He handed the ball to the ref. Here you go, Mr. Referee. Thank you very much. No big displays, no going crazy, no sellies. They didn't even call it sellies back then. He handed the ball to the referee. Here you go, Mr. Referee. My touchdown run is now completed. That's what Barry Sanders did. So how about taking a little page out of that notebook, one of the greatest of all time? Didn't exactly get excited. He was like, I have done my job. I have scored a touchdown in an NFL game. Here's the ball, Mr. Ref. And he moved on with his frickin' day. How about a little inspiration from Mr. Sanders? Instead of getting all excited and crazy and losing your noggin and costing us 6 points with that. Hey. All right, enough of that. What about the defense? Who did great? Well, it'd probably come no surprise if you watch the game. Quinnen Williams, number one. So good job, Mr. Quinnen. This is what we pay you for. Finally, the last few games, we're getting the real Quinnen Williams. 8 pressures from a defensive interior player is excellent. Here he has 2 sacks. He officially has 1.5. In the PFF schema, they do not give you half sacks. If you get a half sack officially, you get a full sack here. 1 hit, 5 hurries, 2 tackles, and the only thing keeping his grade down even more, he missed 1 tackle there. Jalen Mills, the guy we picked up. I was very excited that we picked up Jalen Mills, the Green Goblin. Very experienced player, and now we need him. And look at these grades he's getting. Excellent. DJ Reed continues to play well. Even looking at Guavin, one of our backup linebackers. Love to see it. Isaiah Oliver, Kinlaw. Now, if we could get Kinlaw and Quinnen playing like this and maybe improving their tackling a bit, okay, we're going to be much better off. And then we just really need to acquire one more defensive tackle if we could by the trade deadline. I say that man is Quentin Jefferson. He's a guy who fits our system. Obviously, we had him last year. He's now on the Browns. He's not doing much over there. They're not going anywhere without Deshaun Watson. So it looks like they're in the market. Reports have been out that they're in the market to trade players like that. So I think we should get that man in here to buff up our second layer of defensive tackles. Eccles had to be called into play a couple of times. Look at Braden McGregor. Maybe Braden McGregor is going to be something. Maybe, maybe not. These are decent grades. Will McDonald, of course. Now, Will McDonald, according to this, gets credit for 7 pressures and Reddick 8. So we had 3 players with 7 or more pressures in the game. You rarely see that. And then we got Leonard Taylor. So it's possible that Leonard Taylor could be something. He's been playing okay so far for a UDFA rookie, though. You like to see it. Maybe he can stick around. Sherwood, I think he played better than this grade. Gardner continues to be average. I think the way Gardner's going, we're not going to have to give him a $30 million contract. 60.5 coverage grade. I mean, we could give him a contract, but maybe, not what people thought. Then you got guys like Solomon Thomas, Quincy, Michael Clemens. Even though he had 2 sacks in the game here, he only has 1. Officially, he had 2. So not sure. Well, they only have 7 here. We actually have 8. Sometimes that changes around. Who knows? But guys like Eric Watts, now Michael Carter's injured, I think still. He's got a back, so I think he's going to be out for the next game. Eric Watts, no bueno. Michael Clemens, no bueno. Solomon Thomas, no bueno. So we probably just need one more defensive tackle to help out on that run defense. And I think Quentin Jefferson would be the perfect guy to go get at the trade deadline. All right, what about rushing? We like to take a look at the rushing, not really for the grades, but to understand, are we a zone team or are we a gap? So we still maintain that we are a zone team for the most part, about 67% zone as opposed to gap. And that seems to be pretty consistent. Now, passing wise, Aaron Rodgers threw for 68%. This is a normal or more normal Aaron Rodgers game. 69% completions, 211 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, although almost all of this came in the second half, which is interesting because he looked terrible in the first half. Why can't we put two halves together? I don't know. But anyway, two big-time throws here. One turnover-worthy play. I think this was on the one where there was a penalty anyway, but they, I guess, have to call it turnover-worthy, and you saw the defender drop the interception, though I don't think it would have been an interception anyway because of penalty. But nonetheless, a turnover-worthy play, maybe that, or maybe it was one time when he got hit and he almost fumbled. I don't know. But look at the time to throw. So he's getting rid of the ball very quickly. So this tells us very important information. TTT is time to throw. And that is important because you want it to be lower than 2.5 is excellent, and it's 2.23. Now what this tells us is, one, the line held up good, but number two, I think Rodgers was much more decisive in this game. And that meant that the wide receivers were doing good work, and the tight end and all the people going out for passes were doing good work, allowing Rodgers to quickly find who he needed to find and get rid of the ball, which is what you want. If this were to keep up, you would think that the rest of the stats would follow. It's probably a good leading indicator that things are going well, because you're not holding onto the ball, you're not double, triple clutching it. You're seeing the field well. You've got open guys and you're just hitting them, and that's what we want. So that's good. Now, what about the pass blocking, though? When we look at pass blocking, we want to look at efficiency because that's less subjective. Conklin, good job. Ruckert, good job. Braylon Allen, good job. John Simpson, while he was in there, was doing a good job. And look at Tyron Smith. Finally got a good grade out of Tyron. This is what we were expecting, Mr. Smith. So hopefully that just continues for the rest of the season. Morgan Moses, very good. Joe Tippmann, very good. Max Mitchell, and then you have these guys who are tackles, but they were playing guard. So they didn't do too hot, but they didn't do horribly. And you can't expect tackles to just go in and play guard and be amazing, even especially Olu, who never played guard in his life. Max Mitchell did play a little bit of guard for us in the time he's been here. A little bit of tackle, a little bit of guard as needed. So he does have experience there. He's not terribly great at it, but he can do it. So, the more you can do, as they say. And then Jake Hansen did not do a good job while he was in there, but for only 13 pass blocking snaps. So, and now he's injured. So hopefully, maybe we can get AVT back. Maybe we can get, so we'll see what happens here. We may eventually see Cole Laval on this team. So there you have it. There's your PFF grades against the Houston Texans. Let me know what you thought about all this in the comments section down below. And if you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it greatly. We're trying to get up to 400 subscribers, and we'd like your help with that. So if you could hit the subscribe button, if you're not yet subscribed, I'd appreciate it. If you are subscribed already, then please tell someone who's not subscribed.
Did you know that if you click the subscribe button right now, Alan Lazard will receive a lifetime subscription of Stickum Football Adhesive? Click the subscribe button right now so we never have to watch Alan Lazard drop a pass ever again. Please, I am begging you.
Per your stupid instructions, I tried to compromise Frankie from Flatbush. But no, he's way too cool or something.